You sit there sometimes, in the quiet of the evening, when the world feels still, and you wonder how life turned out this way. You remember when the house was full of voices, laughter, the sound of doors opening and closing, the smell of food on the stove, the rhythm of life moving all around you. But now it's quiet. Too quiet. And that silence, it speaks, doesn't it? It speaks of moments gone by, of people who once called your name, of times that felt like they would last forever, but didn't. Loneliness isn't just being alone. It's the weight of memories pressing down on the heart. It's when your hands ache to hold someone who isn't there anymore. It's when you wake up in the middle of the night and realize there's no one to tell about that dream you had. It's when the phone doesn't ring as often as it used to. It's when you look out the window and see the world moving on without you, people laughing, rushing, living, and you wonder, when did I get left behind? But let me tell you something today, something that maybe no one has said to you in a while. Your loneliness is not a punishment. It's not a sign that you are forgotten. It's a quiet whisper from your soul, reminding you that you were made to love deeply, to connect deeply, to feel deeply. The reason it hurts so much is because you have loved so much. The emptiness you feel now is not proof that your life is over. It's proof that you have lived a life full of meaning, full of people, full of moments that mattered. You see, loneliness has a way of teaching us things that no crowd ever could. When you are alone, you begin to hear the sound of your own heart again. You begin to see how strong you truly are. You begin to remember the things that used to bring you peace before life got so busy. The morning sunlight through the window, the sound of birds in the early hours, the smell of rain, the warmth of a simple cup of tea. Maybe you've lost people you love deeply, a partner, friends, even siblings. Maybe your children have grown and have their own lives now. Maybe your health has slowed you down, and you can't do the things you once did. It's easy to think that life has taken more from you than it's given lately. But what if this season isn't about loss at all? What if it's about rediscovery? There's a reason why God allows quiet seasons. There's a reason why the noise fades, and the room grows still. It's in that stillness that you find Him. When everything else fades away, the job, the responsibilities, the constant noise, what remains is the most important relationship you will ever have, the one between you and your Creator. Maybe you feel forgotten by the world, but God hasn't forgotten you for a single moment. He still watches over you. He still listens when you talk, even if no one else does. He still sends little reminders of His love, a song on the radio that touches your heart, a call from an old friend, a sunset that takes your breath away. Loneliness can be painful, yes, but it can also be sacred. Because in that emptiness, you begin to understand what really matters. You begin to see how precious every breath is. You begin to realize that joy doesn't always come from people, sometimes it comes from peace. You might look at your reflection and see wrinkles, gray hair, tired eyes, but I see wisdom. I see a story that's still being written. You've seen storms and survived. You've seen heartbreak and still found reasons to smile. You've been knocked down by life more than once, but you stood back up every single time. That's strength. That's beauty. That's something younger hearts are still learning. The truth about loneliness is that it tries to convince you that you are invisible, but you are not. You are still someone's reason to hope. You are still the answer to someone's prayer. Maybe there's a neighbor who needs your kind word, or a grandchild who needs your wisdom, or a stranger who just needs to see your smile. Sometimes your simple presence, your soft words, your gentle spirit can heal someone else's loneliness without you even realizing it. So don't let that quiet space in your home fool you into thinking you have nothing left to give. You do. You have stories, lessons, love, and light that this world still needs. Every day that you wake up, you have a new chance to be someone's warmth in a cold world. You see, loneliness often comes not because we have no one around us, but because we've forgotten how much we still matter. Life may have slowed down, but purpose doesn't retire. Love doesn't expire. Hope doesn't age. Go outside when you can. Feel the air on your face. Talk to someone at the store, or the park, or even on the phone. Write down your memories. Someone someday will want to read them. Pray for those you love, even if they're far away. Light a candle for the ones who've gone ahead. Keep their light alive by sharing their stories. You don't have to pretend that you don't miss them. It's okay to cry sometimes. It's okay to sit quietly and let the tears fall. That's not weakness. That's love showing itself in another form. Every tear carries a memory. Every sigh carries a prayer. And every prayer reaches God's heart. There will come a day when the loneliness won't hurt so much. It won't disappear completely, but it will change shape. It will become softer, more like a gentle shadow than a heavy cloud. Because you'll realize that you were never truly alone. Every step, every moment, every breath, He was right there. When you sat alone at the table, He was sitting with you. When you cried quietly at night, He was holding you. When you whispered, "I miss them," He whispered back, "I know." The truth about your loneliness is that it's not the end of your story, it's just a quiet chapter. One filled with reflection, healing, and maybe even a little bit of peace if you let it in. Life has a way of coming full circle. The same way you once cared for others, now life is gently asking you to care for yourself. Start small. Each morning, thank God for one thing, even if it's just the ability to wake up and breathe. Look for something beautiful each day, a flower, a smile, a kind gesture. These small things are not small at all. They are the threads that keep your spirit connected to life. You may not realize it, but there are people who think of you, who remember you, who are grateful for everything you've done. You've left fingerprints of kindness on hearts you may never see again. And those imprints, they don't fade. They live on. So if you ever find yourself sitting alone and wondering if you still matter, remember this, you do. Your presence carries light. Your life carries meaning. And your soul, your beautiful, strong, enduring soul, is still connected to something eternal. Maybe, just maybe, this chapter of loneliness is not meant to break you, but to bring you closer to yourself, to your Creator, to peace. You've spent years taking care of others, now it's time to let love take care of you. You are not forgotten. You are not done. You are still loved, deeply, endlessly, eternally. And the next time that silence fills the room, don't be afraid of it. Let it be a space where you feel God's presence, where you remember your strength, where you breathe in peace and breathe out gratitude. Because the truth about your loneliness is this: it's not empty space. It's sacred space. It's where healing begins. It's where love still lives. It's where you meet yourself and find out that you were never really alone after all. Sometimes, when the sun sets and the sky turns gold and gray, your heart remembers everything at once. The laughter that used to echo through the house, the smell of familiar perfume, the sound of footsteps that no longer walk the same floors. Memory can be both a comfort and a wound. It keeps those you've loved close, yet reminds you that they're gone. You sit by the window, and the world outside looks the same, yet somehow different. Children still play, lovers still walk hand in hand, people still rush to places you no longer need to go. And for a moment you wonder, do they even realize how fast it all passes? Because you do. You've seen how quickly time moves. You've seen how today becomes yesterday, and how the things we thought would last forever turn into stories we tell ourselves at night. But here's something beautiful. Even though the years have taken much, they've also given you something precious: wisdom. You understand now that joy was never in things, it was in moments. It was in the shared glance across the dinner table, in the warmth of holding someone's hand, in the peace of knowing you did your best even when life was hard. And even if no one says it enough, you did do your best. You worked hard, you gave love, you showed up, even when it hurt. You carried responsibilities, worries, hopes, dreams, not just your own, but those of others too. You raised families, held homes together, made sacrifices no one saw, and now, in this quiet season, you deserve to rest. Not just physically, but emotionally. Loneliness sometimes feels like punishment, but it's really an invitation to breathe again, to pause, to reconnect with what you forgot in the noise of life. It's as if God Himself is saying, "Be still. You've done enough. Now let me hold you." You might not feel it every day, but He's there. When you look at the sunlight streaming through the curtain, that's Him reminding you He's near. When a memory makes you smile instead of cry, that's His healing working quietly in your heart. When someone calls just to check on you, that's His love reaching you through another soul. The truth is, loneliness only feels dark when we stop looking for the light inside it. But there's always light, even in the silence, even in the waiting. Maybe you've felt forgotten by the world, but heaven has never once forgotten your name. Every good thing you've ever done, every kind word, every prayer, every act of love, it still echoes in eternity. Sometimes we think our best days are behind us. But that's not true. Your body may move slower, your hair may have silver in it, but your spirit, that's ageless. There's still purpose in you. There's still something only you can give. Have you noticed how a few kind words from you can calm someone younger? How your quiet presence can make others feel safe? That's the wisdom of time. That's the strength that comes from living, from falling and rising, from learning and forgiving. Even if your days look simple now, that simplicity holds beauty. A cup of tea in the morning, a walk outside, a small prayer whispered before bed, these are sacred things. Life doesn't have to be loud to be meaningful. It's often in the softest moments that our souls finally exhale. You don't need to chase anything anymore. You've earned your peace. You've built a lifetime of memories that will never fade, not even when you're gone, because love doesn't die. The people you've loved, and the ones who've loved you, that bond can never be broken. When your heart aches for someone who's no longer here, close your eyes and feel them. Love doesn't need a body to exist. It lives in spirit. And that spirit, it still surrounds you. Sometimes, that sudden warmth in an empty room, or that gentle feeling of peace that comes out of nowhere, that's them. They're near. They never truly left you. And when you talk to God about them, He listens. He knows every name, every tear, every thank you that never got said. Heaven isn't far, it's closer than we think. The distance between here and there is only a breath, only a heartbeat. And until that moment comes when you meet them again, you are meant to live, to find small joys, to share kindness, to keep your light burning. Because there's someone out there who still needs your story. Maybe a younger soul who feels lost. Maybe someone who thinks their pain is too heavy. And your words, your presence, could be the reminder they need, that it's okay, that life goes on, that love endures. So write your story down. Speak it. Share it. Tell others what you've learned. Not everyone will understand loneliness the way you do, but your understanding can help them when their time comes. You've turned pain into wisdom. You've turned silence into strength. That's not something to hide, that's something to honor. And on days when the house feels too big, and the night feels too long, remember this, you are still seen. Every breath you take is a prayer. Every heartbeat is proof that there's still something beautiful left for you here. Maybe it's not about waiting for someone to come and fill the silence. Maybe it's about learning to dance with it, to find rhythm even in stillness. Play your favorite old song, even if it's just for yourself. Sing along. Laugh at your memories. Remember that once, you lived with joy, and you still can. You are not defined by who is around you. You are defined by the love that still flows from your heart. And that love, it's powerful. It's enough to change the atmosphere around you. Look around. There's still beauty everywhere. The morning sky painted with color, the soft hum of the world waking up, the simple miracle of being alive another day. And maybe that's the real truth about loneliness. It's not emptiness, it's awareness. Awareness that life is fragile, that moments are fleeting, that everything we love is borrowed for a while, and that's what makes it precious. You see, the heart that has known loneliness has also known depth. It's like a well, quiet on the surface, but filled with unseen waters of emotion and wisdom. You've learned to find comfort in things others overlook, the warmth of sunlight, the beauty of stillness, the peace of prayer. That's not loneliness anymore. That's grace. And maybe this chapter is preparing you for something greater, not an ending, but a beginning of peace. You're not behind, you're simply entering a gentler pace, where every moment is slower, softer, clearer. Where you notice God in the smallest details. Where you understand that even the silence has purpose. If you've ever wondered whether you still matter, you do. The world needs your calm, your patience, your kindness. You are the reminder of what truly lasts when everything else fades: love, faith, and presence. The truth about your loneliness is that it's not really loneliness. It's the soul's way of coming home. It's the heart's quiet journey back to what's eternal. And as strange as it sounds, there's beauty even in this. Because this stillness, this space, is where you can finally hear God's whisper again. He's saying, "You've done well. You are still loved. You are still mine." So, take a deep breath. Let go of the idea that your best days are gone. The best days aren't always the loudest ones. Sometimes, they're the peaceful mornings when your heart feels calm for no reason. Sometimes, they're the nights when you smile through your tears and realize, "I'm still here. I made it." You've made it through everything life has thrown at you: storms, losses, heartbreak, change, and you're still standing. That's not small. That's a miracle. Don't be afraid of this season. Embrace it. It's not the closing of your story, it's the deep, meaningful part before the final page. The part where everything makes sense, where love outlasts loss, where peace replaces fear. And when you sit alone, don't see it as absence, see it as presence. The presence of everything you've ever been, everything you've ever loved, and everything you still are. You are not lonely, you are surrounded by memories, by love, by God, by peace. The truth about your loneliness is that it's just love with nowhere to go. And when you turn that love inward, when you let it heal you, it becomes light again. Light that others will see. Light that will carry you home, one peaceful day at a time. And maybe, when you truly look at it, this loneliness isn't a shadow after all, it's light, softer than before, but still shining. Because even now, your life still touches others in ways you may never fully know. That neighbor who sees you smile every morning? You give them hope. That young person who listens to your kind words? You remind them that wisdom still lives in gentle voices. That friend who still calls to check in? You remind them what faithfulness looks like. The truth is, your presence carries peace. You've lived enough life to understand that storms come and go, people come and go, but peace is something you build inside. And that peace becomes your gift to the world. You may not travel far anymore, but your prayers travel miles. You may not have the energy to do everything you once did, but your words still have power. You may not always see it, but your kindness still leaves traces. Every time you forgive, every time you choose patience, every time you show grace instead of bitterness, you bring light into a world that desperately needs it. And maybe that's what this season is all about. You've spent years doing, running, giving. Now God wants you to simply be. To rest in the quiet knowledge that your life has already meant something. You don't need to prove anything anymore. You've already done more than enough. Sometimes, when you close your eyes, you might feel the ache of years gone by, but that ache is love's echo. It means you lived. You cared. You dared to open your heart again and again, even when it hurt. And that's something to be proud of. Loneliness tells you that you are forgotten, but that's the biggest lie of all. You're not forgotten. Not by God, not by the universe, not by the people whose lives you touched along the way. There are hearts out there that still remember your laughter, your cooking, your advice, your prayers. They might not say it often, but you are part of the foundation of someone's peace today. You see, God doesn't measure our lives by how busy they were. He measures them by how much love we gave. And love doesn't stop just because life slows down. In fact, now it grows quieter, deeper, purer. Like a flame that doesn't need to prove its brightness. It just burns softly, steadily, beautifully. And maybe one day, when you're sitting in your favorite chair, you'll feel something you can't quite explain. A warmth, a stillness, a gentle peace filling the room. That's God sitting beside you. That's His way of saying, "I'm here. You don't need to be strong all the time. You've carried enough. Let me carry you now." You can talk to Him anytime. You don't need fancy words or long prayers. Just speak from your heart. Tell Him what you miss, what you wish, what you fear. He listens. Always. And sometimes, the answer doesn't come in words, it comes in calmness, in that deep exhale you didn't know you needed. And when you think about the people who've gone before you, remember this: they're not gone, they've just gone ahead. You'll see them again, not as memories, but as light. They're safe, they're free, and they're waiting with smiles. So live fully until that day. Live with love, with gratitude, with quiet strength. Because every sunrise you see is another chance to say, thank you. Do you know what makes your story so powerful? It's not that it was perfect. It's that you kept going. Even when your heart broke. Even when you didn't feel seen. Even when life didn't turn out the way you thought it would. You still got up. You still kept faith. That's what makes your soul shine. If ever you feel the world has moved on, remember this. The world keeps spinning, but the sky never forgets the stars that shine in it. You are one of those stars. Quiet, constant, still glowing. Don't be afraid to find joy again, even in little things. Let yourself laugh. Let yourself feel wonder. Sit outside and watch the clouds drift. Listen to the sound of the rain. Feel the rhythm of your own heartbeat and realize you're still part of creation. You're still here, and that means there's still something beautiful ahead. Maybe your mission now is not to chase, but to cherish. To teach others how to slow down. To remind them that love is not measured in noise, but in presence. That life's greatest treasures are found not in things, but in moments. The truth about your loneliness is that it's teaching you how to love in a higher way, without needing anything in return. To love from the soul, not from the surface. To love people you may never meet, just by praying for them. To love life itself, just because it's still a gift. And maybe one day, you'll look back at this season, the silence, the long evenings, the quiet mornings, and you'll realize it wasn't loneliness after all. It was transformation. It was God reshaping your heart into peace. It was preparation for a greater joy. There's something about this part of life that's sacred. It strips away everything unnecessary and leaves only truth. That love is all that remains. And you, dear soul, are love. You've always been. So don't hide from the quiet. Don't fear the stillness. Sit with it. Let it teach you. Let it remind you that the greatest company you'll ever have is God within you, peace around you, and love flowing through you. And when you wake up tomorrow, before you reach for anything else, place your hand over your heart and say, thank you, I'm still here. I'm still learning. I'm still loved. Because you are. You always have been. You always will be. And that is the truth about your loneliness. It's not the end. It's the beginning of peace. It's the quiet doorway to eternity. It's the soft voice of God whispering, you are never alone. And maybe someday soon, you'll notice something beautiful. The loneliness that once felt heavy begins to soften. It won't vanish completely, but it will no longer hurt the same way. It becomes something different, a quiet companion instead of an empty ache. You'll start to realize that this silence isn't your enemy. It's a sacred space where peace begins to bloom. You'll look around your room, at the old photographs, the worn-out books, the tiny memories sitting on the shelf, and instead of feeling pain, you'll feel gratitude. Because everything around you tells a story, a life fully lived, moments deeply felt, love that once filled the air so richly that its echoes still linger. That's not loneliness, that's legacy. And one day, someone younger might sit beside you, asking about your life, and as you speak, they'll see something in your eyes, not sadness, but light. The kind of light that only comes from a soul that has lived through everything and still believes in goodness. You'll realize that your story is a bridge between generations, that your voice carries lessons that no book could ever teach. You might tell them about the times when life was simpler, slower, kinder. You'll tell them about how people valued words, how love didn't need grand gestures, just presence. And as you talk, you'll notice that your loneliness starts to fade. Because storytelling is connection, and connection is love. You'll see that even in your quietest moments, you are still shaping hearts.